Have you ever felt a subtle shift in the air? A quiet dissonance when you sit with the one you have raised from a child to an adult, a feeling in your center, a soft twist, which you quickly dismiss. For this is your child. You love them. Your heart holds the memory of their first breath, their first step. So, when a word from them lands like a stone instead of a leaf, it is easy to find reasons. They are tired. The pressures of the world are heavy upon them. Perhaps I am too sensitive, but I invite you to consider this. What if these moments, these words, are not random weather? What if they are signposts, pointing to an imbalance in the flow between you? What if they are revealing a hidden wound? This is not about the natural friction that occurs when two currents meet. That is life. We are not speaking of fleeting frustrations. We are speaking of patterns, of words that reveal a fixed mind, a blocked heart. Words that, like dripping water on a stone, can wear away your own inner mountain, your peace, your foundation. Our journey today is not to close a door on those we love. It is to find the strength within ourselves, to understand when the sacred space of connection has been violated, and to have the wisdom to step back from any energy, even that of family, that no longer honors the spirit within you. Let me ask you this. Has your son or your daughter ever looked at you, their voice filled with a story of lack, saying, "You were never truly there," after all the sons you have seen rise and set working to provide for them, after pouring your entire being into their growth? It touches a deep place, does it not? It makes the ground beneath you tremble. But remember this truth: you were not a perfect vessel, but you gave the water you had. When another soul refuses to see this, choosing instead to live in the shadow of blame, you must protect your own wellspring. Let us, together, look at these echoes, the ones that carry more than pain, but reveal a path that has gone astray. The first echo sounds like this: "You owe me." It may not be spoken so plainly. It may hide in phrases like, "After everything I endured because of you," or "My life would be easier if you had." The energy, however, is the same. It is the energy of a phantom debt. It is as if they are holding your heart for ransom, demanding you pay for a crime you never committed. That is not connection. It is confinement. The love that flows from a child is, in its natural state, a current of gratitude. This does not mean they cannot speak of their wounds or ask difficult questions about the past. But when they demand repayment for the gift of their upbringing, when your role as a source becomes a weapon against you, the flow has become toxic. You do not owe them the quiet harvest of your years. You do not owe them your vital energy each day, especially when it is taken without thought, without reverence. When guilt is used as a leash, this is not the path of family. It is the path of control. The second echo to listen for is this: "You're just old. You wouldn't understand." This one lands differently. It is not fire, but ice. It does not attack, but dismisses. It makes you feel transparent, as if your wisdom, your journey, all the landscapes you have crossed in your life have turned to dust. You have witnessed history. You have weathered personal storms. You have seen miracles bloom in winter. And all of it is swept away by one word: old. Allow me to offer this truth. To be older is not to be irrelevant. It is to become the mountain. You have seen seasons they have only read about. You have survived what they cannot yet imagine. When your own child uses your seasons against you to silence you, they are not moving forward. They are showing a poverty of spirit. Do not accept this. Your voice has earned its place. Your guidance, when it comes from love, is a gift. Age is not a deficit. It is depth. If the one you raised has forgotten this, it is not your task to convince them. It is your practice to protect your own sacred peak. Sometimes this means taking a step back into the quiet mist of your own presence until they can once again see the mountain for what it is. The third echo that should sound an alarm in your heart is this: "If you don't help me, I will manage without you." At first, this might sound like strength, but listen with your whole being, beneath the words, to the music. Is it the song of independence? Or is it the sound of a threat? Is it a declaration of true self-reliance? or an ultimatum to bend your will to theirs. So often, this is a tool of leverage. A false choice is presented: give me what I want, or I will remove my presence. As a parent, that strikes at the root of fear. The fear of being cut off, of being forgotten, can lead you to yield again and again. But a connection built on that fear is a house built on sand. And love, the real current of love, is never a threat. True connection says, I would be grateful for your help. Not, give me what I demand, or I am gone. If your child is close only when there is a need, if their warmth depends on what you provide, then you do not have a relationship. You have a transaction. And your spirit is worth more than that. You have spent lifetimes, it seems, building your inner home. This season of your life is meant for peace. It is meant for harvesting joy, for deep, authentic connection, not for demands, pressure, or walking on fragile ground. I know this path is difficult. To walk away, even just in your heart, from a soul you love entirely, goes against every primal instinct. But sometimes love means saying, enough. Sometimes, protecting yourself is the deepest teaching you can offer, for it shows another how they must treat you. It creates a sacred boundary that says, my heart is not a place for injury. You are not abandoning them by defining your space. You are reminding them that respect is a river that must flow both ways. That your value is not a setting sun. That your love is a spring, not a debt. And I promise you, the moment you reclaim your center, the moment you cease to allow disrespect in the name of family, you will feel a lightness, a freedom, a strength you had forgotten. Let us continue, for there are other echoes to understand. Each one reveals something profound about how we are treated and how we must learn to treat ourselves. When someone you love begins to see you as a means to an end, when their words carry the weight of control instead of care, it is not simply a disappointment. It is an exhaustion of the soul. And when this comes from your own child, the heart touch has a depth few speak of. Let us continue, for this inner work could spare you ages of suffering. The next echo is, you're the reason I turned out this way. Now, the path of parenting is never straight. Every parent, no matter how full of light, has moments they wish they could revisit. This is the nature of being human. But when a grown soul constantly points to you as the source of all their shadows, without taking ownership of their own journey, a cycle of blame is created. And this is a heavy cloak for any parent to wear forever. You may hear it in times of friction. If you had been different, I would not feel this. Or, if you had raised me better, my life would be better. And because you are the source, the words strike the root. You begin to question every choice, every no that was meant as protection, every sacrifice that felt right in the moment. But here is the truth. To raise a child is not to sign a contract of lifelong blame for their adult life. They have their own will. They are now the weavers of their own destiny. Placing blame on you may offer them temporary relief, but it keeps them from their own growth. It keeps them stationary, and it keeps you chained to a past that no longer exists. You did not raise a perfect being, just as you were not a perfect parent. But if you acted from a place of love, if you did the best you could with the light you had, then your work is complete. The rest of the journey, it is theirs to walk. Do not allow them to hang their life around your neck. And if they persist, if every conversation is a return to this one broken note, it may be time to step back, not from a lack of care, but from an abundance of it, for your own spirit. Now, for the next echo, it may come in the heat of a storm, or in a chilling moment of quiet, and it is this: you never really loved me. If these words have ever been said to you, I invite you to stop and take a deep, slow breath, because I know the wound this creates. This one sentence attempts to erase a universe of care. Every meal, every sleepless night, every act of silent service, it tries to burn it all to ash. But let us be very clear. This statement is not just painful, it is a profound violence. Love is not always a perfect expression. Sometimes it does not look the way stories say it should. Perhaps you showed love through action, not words. Perhaps your own vessel was cracked, and could not hold as much as you wished, but you gave the water you had. Love is not measured in grand declarations. It is measured in presence, in endurance, in making the hard choices. For another to erase that lifetime of effort with one phrase is not only unjust, it is a spiritual attack. It is often used to win a battle, to devastate you into surrender, to make you beg for forgiveness for things that are not even real. You cannot spend the golden years of your life defending your heart to someone who has chosen to forget your love. If they are willing to turn your heart into a weapon against you, this is not a child seeking to heal. It is a soul seeking to control. And sometimes, the most powerful act of love is to let go. You do not have to keep proving yourself to someone who has already closed their eyes. True love does not need convincing. It can see the heart even when things are imperfect. If your child's heart was open to you, they would not want to tear yours apart with words. They would not wish to be the source of your tears. Which brings us to another phrase that reveals so much. You're just being dramatic. This one may seem lighter, perhaps even spoken with a laugh, but do not be mistaken. It is an act of erasure. It is a way to silence you, to diminish your inner world, to tell you that your feelings are invalid every time you speak your truth. And think, for a moment, how many times in a life one is told to be quiet, to be less, to not cause a stir. Especially as we gather more seasons, we may notice our voice carries less weight in the world. People interrupt, they speak over you, they nod, but they are not listening. So when your own child dismisses your authentic feeling with a casual, "You're being dramatic," it reinforces a deep wound that your inner reality does not matter. But I am here to tell you that your voice matters now more than ever. You have lived, you have learned, you have endured, you have loved. Your perspective is not drama. It is a deep well of experience. It is rich with the soil of a full life. When anyone, especially one you raised, tries to make you small for feeling what you feel, that is not just disrespect. It is a closing of the spirit. You do not have to accept that. You deserve to be heard. You deserve to speak your weather without fear of being told the sun should be shining. And if the ones closest to you cannot give you that sky, you are fully empowered to create your own, to step away, to define that boundary and say, "No, I will not be diminished." Because this part of your journey, this chapter, is not about pleasing those who do not see you. It is about standing in the quiet strength of who you have become. It is about finding peace, dignity, and a profound joy. It is about living fully, without being tethered to the emotional weight of another's immaturity. As we move through these echoes, I invite you to remember they are not just words, they are patterns. Patterns of disrespect, control, and imbalance. And the moment you begin to see them for what they truly are, you begin to call your power home. This is not about turning your back on family. It is about turning your face toward your own soul, toward the self-respect, peace, and clarity you have earned. You are not too old to create sacred space. You are not too old to begin anew. You are not too old to say, "That is enough." And if any part of your spirit aches hearing these truths, if a memory has surfaced that you thought long buried, know this, you are not alone. So many carry this pain in silence, but today you have given yourself the gift of seeing it clearly. Soon, we will discuss the final echoes, for they reveal the deepest truths about where you stand and how to move forward in strength. Let us continue. The next echo, we must understand, can seem harmless, but it carries a current that can erode your sense of being. It is this: I didn't ask for your opinion. Of course, every soul has the right to choose its own path. Your grown children are free to make their own choices, even those you see lead to difficult places. That is their journey. You know this. You have made peace with this. But when your child snaps with a sharp, "I didn't ask," what they are truly saying is that your wisdom is an unwelcome guest, that your voice no longer has a place at the table, that the years you spent cultivating your own inner garden of experience no longer bear fruit worth tasting. It is a difficult truth to face, especially when your offering comes not from a desire to control, but from a place of deep care. When that offering is thrown back, it creates a chasm, one that does not just separate, but isolates. If your child repeatedly silences you, dismisses your perspective, or makes you feel that your presence is conditional on your silence, that is not the flow of mutual respect. It is control. And no soul, no matter the number of their years, deserves to be placed in the corner of their own family story. You are allowed to have a perspective. You are allowed to have a voice. And even if they choose another path, a respectful heart can still listen with honor. If they cannot, you must ask yourself, am I pouring my energy into a riverbed that has run dry? Now, we arrive at what is perhaps the most difficult echo to hear, and I wish to speak of it with care. It is the moment your child says, "You're the one who needs help, not me." There are contexts where this can come from love. Perhaps you are struggling, and they see it, and they wish to support you. That is one energy. But too often, this phrase is not used as a bridge, but as a sword, a way to deflect their own shadows by casting them onto you. Imagine you are trying to address a difficulty, the way they speak to you, their absence, their disrespect. And instead of hearing you, they turn the mirror and say, "You're the one with the problem. You need help. You are losing your mind." That is not care. That is called gaslighting. And it is a subtle poison. Because the moment you begin to question your own reality, your own feelings, your own memory, you become ungrounded. You become easy to move, to manipulate. You start to shrink and apologize for things you never did. And this is the very foundation of emotional control. So, let me remind you of this vital truth. To need support is human, but to be told you need help as a way to silence or shame you, that is not support. It is an attack. And when it comes from your own child, it is a deeper wound, because they know the map of your heart. They know exactly where to press. If your conversations leave you feeling adrift from your own truth, if you are always made to be the problem, you have every right to step back. You are not required to be emotionally present for someone who uses your love as a weapon against you. If you are still here, still listening, still breathing with me, I want to say something your soul may have been waiting to hear. You deserve respect, not just tolerance. You deserve real respect, the kind that sees your heart, the kind that listens, the kind that honors the simple, profound fact that you are the reason they are here. I know some of this has been hard. It may have awakened old pains, but to acknowledge a wound is not to be bitter. It is to be brave. It means you are ready to stop carrying another's pain in silence. It means you are ready to put yourself first. Not because you have stopped loving them, but because you have started remembering to love yourself. So where do you go from this place of knowing? You begin by honoring your own inner world. You stop smoothing things over to keep a false peace. You give yourself permission to draw lines of light around your being. This may mean fewer calls. It may mean saying no to demands that drain your spirit. It may mean having one clear conversation that begins with, "I will no longer be spoken to in that way." And perhaps, in time, they will see. But even if they do not, you will have chosen dignity over damage. You will have chosen your own sacred peace over the illusion of closeness. And that is the most powerful practice of this life season. You have earned your rest. You have earned your voice. You deserve to be surrounded by energy that sees your value, not questions it. If this journey has resonated within you, if it has brought some clarity, please share your reflections below. You never know what other heart might read your words and feel less alone. Like this video and subscribe to A Path of Strength. We are here to walk with you in honest conversations that help you stand in your power and live from your center. Here's to protecting your peace, honoring your mountain, and walking forward in strength. Because you are not alone, and you are not powerless. You are a being of deep experience, of resilience, and of profound love. And you deserve a life that mirrors that truth. May you walk in peace. I will see you in our next reflection.